everything I'm talking about is not something people were doing until before blockchain or crypto. It's really converging a lot of different researches and products. IPFS, for instance, is something that is from the file sharing space and torrents, and you're somehow combining it with digital identity and apply it to a use case like credit scoring. Naturally, it will require a lot of iterations to replace what we have today, which is broken.
What we have today is broken.
Yeah, for sure.
What makes you say that? I mean, a lot of people think this, a lot of people say this. I'm just thinking, what's the main sign of, things today being broken that you see?
Yeah, so I think the most clear example is credit scoring in the US. The fact that it's using your name and the social security numbers, so it's really easy to impersonate you. So that became a problem. So I don't remember the numbers, but 1 in 5 people in the US don't get a loan because of a mixed identity or something. In other places, you don't have a credit score at all. In Israel, we don't have a credit score system at all, for better or for worse. But it's really, if you don't have a credit scoring problem, you don't have any way to offer services outside of your bank. Think about it. Like there's only one company that will give you, I call it closed financial garden. They give you all the services, but they don't let you out. So basically, so you can go to a different bank and they'll probably ask this bank for all this data. It's possible, but still there's a lot of friction in doing this. And if anybody wants to give you, help, or in America, it's actually possible because you have companies that you can ask for a credit score. Even if you want to, rent a house, you want to limit risk and stuff like that. A user has no way to share this information with you unless you go to a credit provider and buy this information. So it's not really a good example. Yeah, when I'm saying it's broken, I'm saying it's not working for everybody.
No, definitely. I mean, obviously it works for some people, otherwise it wouldn't exist, but there's a lot of people that it doesn't work for. That's very true. I mean, certainly across Europe, there are quite a few examples of where it can be hard for people moving between countries to open a bank account. Because partly of regulations, partly because they can't establish people's identities, adequately. Where, from what you're saying, this big push in identity could be a great way to solve that problem. You just, you have this identity, you share it when you need it.
I think actually we touched the issue with credit scoring, but that's actually maybe a bigger problem. Maybe it's further down the road. Right now, the most immediate problem is the fact that in the internet world, you really have one way to the standard is asking Facebook for your private information, is asking Google for your private information, or asking Apple, and that's really the first thing that crypto tries to build, a protocol that allows you to basically avoid going through Facebook or any third parties. It's called OAuth. And they're actually, monetized OAuth, you can call it.
Because how do we spell that? Sorry.
Oh, the protocol is called OAuth. When you go to, when you try to use, an app on your phone, you log in using Facebook or you log in using Google. You're using a protocol called OAuth.
I didn't know that. Right. Okay.
So this is a protocol that was developed in W3C, which was the internet standards body, but Facebook actually monetized it because what they're doing is letting you use they basically can track you outside of Facebook, which is and they're powering a big chunk of the internet. So every time somebody logs into somewhere using your credentials, they're basically using you use your Facebook credentials, you're actually asking Facebook to give this information to a third party. And what if I just want to give my password and say people get the data from me. I don't need to ask Facebook for permission. So that's really the push, and there's a lot of work. So it's really converging between different infrastructure upgrades. There's a reason people call it Web3, because it's a new way to identify yourself, where Web2 it was mostly, communication with the server. But how do I give my credentials to you without a server in the middle? If I want just to send you money or share a document with you or something like that.
Well, if we get sort of widespread adoption of some sort of blockchain-based identity scheme, is this a threat potentially to the business models of the likes of Google and Facebook, who seem to rely on monetizing data?
So I think it's really it's really not something like Google and Facebook and Amazon and Apple. They're not a monolith. They don't really focus on one. Like a lot of them are maybe focus on one business, or they have like a super specific focus. Most of them are basically doing advertising. But if you go to Amazon, for instance, it starts to get tricky. There's one part that is doing storage and another part that is doing retail, and the storage is kind of funding the retail.
True.
With Facebook, for instance, and Google, it's really hardcore advertising business. But still, you have cloud services, and you have Instagram, which start like there's a lot of different business models there. I don't think we're really tackling those companies. I think there's stuff you can build with this technology that will solve a lot of the problems that they create. But I think every business problem needs a different technological solution.
If you like this video, why not check out the full interview it's an excerpt from. You should see a link to that full interview somewhere here on the screen and also down in the description box below. Consider liking this video and do subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all my videos as they go live. Thank you so much for watching, and stay curious.